Okay, welcome back to Let's Play Submachine. We just found our way into this pyramid. We're doing a couple little puzzles to solve, and our main mechanic here seems to be this jar of karmic water we have that when we pour into brass bowls, the water comes alive and forms solid objects we can use, such as this ladder. But we came from that direction, so we're going to continue this way for a bit until we find something we need for the chest upstairs. Let's continue down here. Seems like there's some destruction going on here. This pyramid's not in great shape. And instead of being able to go to the left here, I'm blocked off by this wall of whatever has come down, this red stuff. And what it is actually is resin. I don't know if they tell us in this game, but at some point there's a mention of what exactly all of this stuff is that has kind of crept in, and that is resin. We got a ladder heading down, but we'll take that in just a second. We're headed this way first. We have another sort of bowl. And this one's actually got a goodie inside, a sphere. But just like every bowl, we can actually pour more karmic water in here. Even though the symbol isn't there, it is in fact a brass bowl. So let's put in some water. And we get some weird thing here. And we can take that. It is a karmic seal, whatever that means. And we continue on, and we can grab this chest key. Well, that might be for the chest upstairs. And we have this etching telling us what layer to use, but all of them are eyes, if you look at the bottom of the screen there. Whereas there's always an O in whatever layer we pick. So none of the layers are going to mean anything here. Maybe something will change about this device in the game, which will let us not select a layer, which would mean that whatever is happening here we'll be able to see. So let's make a mental note of this area and come back later. Let's do the chest now. So we're going to head back up this ladder to here. And we find a brass tile. Well, no obvious use for that at the moment, so let's keep going down to the next level of this pyramid. Over here we have a little cage. Looks like there's an opening down there, but we can't go down because, well, we can't fit through the cage. So we might have to raise this somehow. We also have this on the wall, whatever it's for. We can't interact with it. So let's just make a mental note of it and move on. Another one of these hatches or shafts in the side of the pyramid. And this one actually has something in it, so you should be looking in every single one of these to find something. We find another brass tile. Looks like a quarter of a circle here, so maybe there's 2 more brass tiles we gotta find. Let's go to the right now. And you might notice the game slow down just a bit right here. I warned you about that a few games ago, that these games will slow down. It has nothing to do with your computer power. Flash player just can't handle whatever load is happening. It doesn't look like there's anything particular. There's not like a lot of interactable objects. My guess, and this is totally an uneducated guess, I don't actually know what Skutnik was doing with this area, but if you notice this roof that we're walking along here is not a drawing like these other things. It looks like he's copy-pasted all the shingles. So it's possible that if he created a game object, which was a shingle, and then copy-pasted that game object multiple times, this room would have an object for the roof, for the statue, for each candle, for these things, and then it would have like 100 shingle objects. And maybe that is overloading the Flash player ever so slightly, especially if it has to keep loaded this room next to it so I can go to it immediately, which has another huge set of shingle objects. It's possible Flash player can't handle that. Again, this is just a guess, and it might not be true. There might be a completely unrelated reason, but the fact that these all look completely alike means he didn't draw each individual shingle, and I do not blame him for not doing that, because that would be extremely tedious, and we'll see more of these later. So he was probably saving himself some heartache from having to draw hundreds and hundreds of shingles and waste so much of his time. And now I've wasted your time by talking about it. So this chain that's been on the top that is connected to the cage over to the left, that leads to nothing. And we can't just pull on it, apparently, as either our arms don't work or it's very, very heavy, so that this pulley system doesn't even work. But we got this, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But maybe somehow we'll connect these two things. And we'll do that by switching to the appropriate layer, because once again we have these markers. But this time, this one has multiple O's at the bottom, so it looks like multiple layers have objects in them. So we can go to the first layer, and we actually see this blue thing. Still doesn't do anything. But we can go also to the fourth layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we find some kind of receptacle here. Once again, there's no marking that shows this is for karmic water, but at this point we should just assume anything that looks like it accepts water will accept water. And that creates some kind of thing. We can't grab any of it, but if we head back to the first layer, we see it's connected directly to this. It's not enough to get this machine going, so we'll have to do one more in layer 7. And again, we have a receptacle for karmic water. And now it looks complete if we head back to the first layer. And when we do this, it's a cog wheel set to pull the chain on this pulley, and that should raise the cage. But before we go back over there, let's head this way. And we see a statue with what looks like a school bell on the top there. But we can't interact with the statue at the moment. We can take this brass tile just sitting there, and we will do so. Let's head back through the chugging area, and we can go to the cage. And now it's open, so we climb down. Let's head this way. So here we have another etching in the wall, which indicates layer 6. And there must be something here that we're missing. In fact, if we go to layer 6, that object exists, but it apparently does not in any other layer. It's been missing. So we can't do anything with it, but it does look like 4 semicircles here. So we can actually take these brass tiles and just stick them right on. We're still missing one, though, so we'll go around looking for it. These may be useful for that, or for something else later. We'll find out. Over here, we've got a lever handle, so we're just going to need to look for a lever. And back to the right. Game chugs along to a stop here, and more shingles. This is an object you can pick up, actually. It is a stone tablet, and the shape of it looks familiar. So let's go and think about what we've seen with that shape recently. And now we really slow down. Look at all those shingles. We head in here. We have some kind of weird curly device with a ring there. And, you know, you could stick that ladder rung in there. That wouldn't do anything. So maybe there's something we need to stick in this ring that has a function. The lever handle doesn't work because this isn't really a lever. It wouldn't do anything. So we'll come back when we have something. Let's find where we can use that stone tablet. Should just be right over here. Yeah, it's the right shape. It's not the right size, but apparently it is the right size. Everything changes size when you use it in this game. So we'll climb up here and find our final brass tile just sitting there. And remember when I was talking about the resin recently, we were just in that room over there, so we could have just come right over here if not for all this collapsed resin. And a lot of our traveling these roundabout ways in this game will be due to the resin just kind of blocking our way. So back over here we put the final brass tile in, and the staircase opens up. We can't pick this stone up even though it looks like it might be important. Instead we'll just head this way and do some reading. When Murtaugh put his arm into the waterfall, he noticed that he no longer had an arm, but 7 of them. That was not something unexpectable. That's a weird sentence. That was not something expected. That was, I don't know. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. What is a miracle, though, is that after he removed his arm from the water, he could still see all 7 layers of his left arm. No longer after... sorry, I read that wrong. Not longer after that, he understood that focusing them all in one place created a portal. That was because all of his arms from all of the layers met at one place and caused the interdimensional karma flow at his fingertips. Okay, so now we know a little bit more about Murtaugh. This goes back to the very first and second games when we were reading about his trip to Kent. And he talked about losing his left arm, but it's okay because he has the invisible one, the third arm. So at the time he must have thought, my arm just got chopped off by some weird thing, but I got a new one. What really happened is he put his arm in a waterfall, and my guess is it's karmic water. And when that happened, it somehow split his arm into one arm per layer. Not totally sure what this means, whether it means that Murtaugh, there's a being that exists in every single layer at the same time, and somehow he was able to then like separate the arm with each layer, move them individually in the layers. That's unlikely though, because Murtaugh, the people don't normally exist in every single layer at once. What's more likely is that he exists in a single layer, and when he put his arm in the waterfall, he was able to not only move his arm in every layer, but see into every single layer. And he found he was able to use that to create the portals that he talks about all the time. And so then I guess he just started using that and destroying the submachine. Alrighty then. Over here we got some entrance. Let's head down the stairs here. Oh, another brass bowl. And we do have a tunnel in here, but it's blocked off by resin, so we're kind of stuck there. And I've gone over my arbitrary 10-ish minute time limit that exists for no other reason than I said so. So I'm going to stop this video here, and we'll pick this up in the next one. See you then. Bye.